This one is an oversimplified, and it is the War of the Buckets. I have no fucking clue what the War of the Bucket is, but it's oversimplified. So I'm going to guess that this is probably going to be funny, but also interesting. Yeah, exactly, Big Dog. I have no idea. Hang on a second. Sorry, my cat was eyeballing my computer tables. I had to yank her out of there. Alright, let us see what Alex, no, I don't believe it's the emu war. I do not believe it, that's it. I think this is something else entirely. So, let's check it out.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. New merch available now, including a supremely uncool t-shirt and a glorious new character pin. Link in the description down below. Alright folks, gather round. I've got some good news and some bad news. Did you say good news and glad news? No, I said good news and bad news. Very bad news. Word on the street is there's going to be a horrible plague coming in from Central Asia in the next couple decades that'll wipe out half of Europe. What's the good news? Do you have a cure? Please say you have a cure. No. Even better. The good news is we've got a new bucket for this city well.
New bucket. Yay. Oh, hang on a second. Every time I'm streaming, the cat seems to want to go after my computer tables. We have a new bucket. Okay.
To understand the War of the Bucket, we first need to talk about this guy. He's the man with the plan, the host with the most. He's holy, lowly, he eats ravioli, with the white cassock, matching pellegrina, and the most tasteful of fringed fascias. Come on, y'all know who I'm talking about. It's the Pope, the head of the largest religious organization in the world. But what if I told you he wasn't always the big bad boy powerhouse he's often thought as today? That's right. Throughout history, the papacy often found itself forced to wrestle against adversity and opposition to retain its authority. The earliest popes, for example, suffered under the brutal persecution of the Roman Empire, and many ended up martyred, such as Pope Clement I, who was ostensibly thrown into the sea with an anchor around his neck. On the bright side, however, he's now the patron saint of fishermen. After
Okay, well, I guess that's making lemonade out of lemons, but jeez. No, my cat just wants to cause chaos. That's what she does. She causes chaos.
persecution finally
Oh, and Diehard, thank you for the
ended,
follow.
the Pope still found himself being heavily controlled by secular kings and nobility. For over 2 centuries, the Byzantine emperor basically decided who could become Pope. Then came a real low point, during what has been called the Dark Age, a period where noblewomen controlled the Pope through, how should I put this, feminine charm. It was around
He was giving him the sex. She was doing the horizontal mambo. She was getting him to turn into the beast with 2 backs. Chat, I'm saying they were fucking. Or in other words, yeah, Big Dog, and insert really dirty joke about priests and youthful humans.
around here that one infamous Pope, John the 12th, took office. This bad boy would hold
Wait, no, chat, no, I'll be a good cat girl. Let me out. I'll be good, I promise, I'll be good. Let me out. Ah, thank you.
That's what she said.
And you put me in jail. Meanies.
how should I put this? Naughty no clothes parties in the Lateran Palace. And apparently, this would even happen. Come on, Zeus, give me a 6. Did I say Zeus? I meant Thor. Ra, the Egyptian sun god? Dang it, who is it we worship? Perhaps you should read this, Your Holiness. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth? Wow, this is wild. Pope John XII eventually died exactly how he lived, caught in the act by an irate husband who picked the Pope up and chucked him out the window.
Oops. Man, the Pope was getting some action. The Pope is getting... The Pope was a player. Huh.
The point I'm trying to make here is that often the Pope was a very weak and corruptible figure and was regularly used and controlled by secular leaders as a tool to increase their own power and influence. And there was certainly an element of that in the year 800, when the Pope and the Kingdom of the Franks were good BFFs, and King of the Franks, Charlemagne, was like, hey man, being King of the Franks is nice and all, but I want more legitimacy, and also to become the continuation of the Roman Empire. So what say in return for my protection, you crown me Emperor so everyone will respect me more? Sure thing, pal. We'll hold the ceremony tomorrow. Charlemagne, King of the Franks, I hereby crown you Emperor of the West. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting this at all.
Oh, this was so unexpected. I didn't even prepare a speech. Brett quickly pulls speech cards out of pocket. Crimson, I'm guessing. The Holy Roman Empire that has become... That was a meme for about 5 seconds. Yeah, I'm guessing that's how this came about.
What a surprise. I simply cannot accept. Oh, okay then. I guess I'll just put this back over here. Give me that crown! Charlemagne's crowning as emperor was certainly an historic
Have a good night,
moment,
Moros.
but it also created a bit of an interesting problem. It set the precedent that from here on out, only the Pope could crown an emperor. But the Pope was also very much under the influence and control of Charlemagne. So who really held the power here? The Pope or the Emperor? I'm sure that this conflict won't cause anyone to die. Bishop of Freising, we want to thank you once again for visiting our wonderful city. It's been an honor. The pleasure is all mine, and what a wonderful tour it's been. I've seen the city walls, I've seen the towers, nothing could top that. Oh, couldn't it? Because we've saved the best for last. Ta-da! Yes, that's very interesting. Isn't it the greatest thing you've ever seen? Well, I mean, it is just a bucket. Get him out of here!
Okay. So is this gonna turn into because the bishop didn't respect the bucket, that the bishop's gonna go back, tell the Pope, and the Pope's gonna say, you done fucked up, you're gonna pay, and that starts a war? Is that really what we're about to see have happen here? I mean, Crimson, it is called Oversimplified for a reason. So, I don't know about exaggerated, but it's, there is obvious artistic licensing. They're trying to tell history in a way that appeals to the modern demographic.
Over time, Charlemagne's position as emperor and the kingdom of the Franks gradually evolved into the Holy Roman Empire. And by now, the Pope and the Emperor weren't such good friends anymore, since neither could agree on who was the boss of who. To make matters worse, the Emperor had taken to investing his own bishops and abbots. What does that mean? Well, allow me to
You know what? And I vaguely remember a Robin Williams joke about this, where Charlemagne, his joke was something about, and I think it was about Charlemagne, where he said, I'm the fucking Pope now, and he starts his own church. That is that Charlemagne that I'm thinking of? Where he basically starts his own church and says, I'm the fucking Pope? I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh, that's the Church of England. Okay. Okay, it's the Church of England one. Okay. I'm mixing them up. Gotcha. Okay, Henry VIII. Okay. I'm mixing up my I'm mixing up my monarchs.
explain. The problem for the Holy Roman Emperor was his empire wasn't really an empire, so much as a nightmarish federation made up of hundreds of counties, duchies, bishoprics,
Jesus.
and more. The princes in charge of
Boy, that's worse than the gerrymandering districts in the United States.
these local regions often didn't give the emperor their loyalty. The German nobility spent a lot of their time rebelling against the emperor, and the emperor spent a lot of his time trying to put down those rebellions. Can we get rid of them? Who? All the nobility. Get rid of them and pick new ones who are loyal to me. You can't just remove noble families from their territory. Please? Aw, okay. How about
Oh, who could resist the puppy dog eyes? But I mean, he's the fucking emperor. He can do whatever he wants.
this? Some of those territories are ruled by bishops and abbots, and as Holy Roman Emperor, considered by many to be the deputy of Jesus Christ himself, perhaps you can choose who gets to become bishop and abbot. Yay! Now it's time to turn out the lights and go to sleep. Okay, I love you. Okay, good night. Say it back. And so it was. The emperor invested his own family and loyal followers into powerful church positions, and thereby was able to increase his own power and authority. Not only
Nepotism. It spans across the ages. Yeah, for anybody that's bitching about nepotism in Hollywood, here's nepotism for you. This is nepotism on a much bigger and more important scale. So people that like to bitch about that need to read their history a bit more.
only that, but the emperor and other nobility were also engaging in something
Oh
called
yeah, Crimson.
simony. That's when someone would come along and say, hey, I want to become a bishop and get all the personal riches that come with the position. Perhaps we could come to some kind of arrangement. That's right. Church positions were actually being sold to the highest bidder. And let me tell you, they probably didn't come cheap. It's gonna cost you a lot more than this. I don't think so. I've got a promo code. And speaking of promo codes,
Good
do you like
time.
free money? I know I do. I really like it. And that's why I use Honey.
Yeah,
Honey
exactly,
is a
Snowman.
free
No
browser
matter how
extension
much we
that
try
automatically
and
finds the best
say
promo
we're
codes
better,
whenever you shop
humanity does
online.
not
For
change.
free. This means you always get the best deals without even
Throughout
trying.
the
On over
years,
20,000
there are
sites
things
like
about
Amazon,
humanity that are
eBay,
just never going to
ASOS,
change.
and more. For example, here I am buying 7 pizzas after a long day of animating. It's currently costing me $130. Oh, hello, honey. You have a voucher for me, you say? All I have to do is click, you say? Nice. I saved $31.78, and all I did was click. There is absolutely no reason not to use Honey for everything you buy online. It's free and literally takes 2 clicks to install. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/oversimplified. That's joinhoney.com/oversimplified. And as always, by using my links, you'll be supporting my
Oh yeah,
channel.
we always.
So thank you. Now where were we?
As the saying goes, Walsh, we always go back to monkey. You know, reject humanity, return to monkey. We always go back to it.
Oh yeah. Investing bishops and abbots, selling church positions, authority, and power. Wait a minute. This is depravity. The purpose of the church isn't for him to increase his own authority and power. It's for me to increase my own authority and power. What about Jesus,
I
Your
think that
Holiness?
was Groupon,
What?
Big Dog.
I thought the
Honey, I
purpose
think
of
is
the
still
church
very
was to
much
spread
around.
the good message of Jesus Christ. How drunk are you? Very. The good
Wait,
man
I missed
power.
that.
What about Jesus, his own authority and power? It's for me to increase my own authority and power. What about Jesus, Your Holiness? What? I thought the purpose of the church was to spread the good message of Jesus Christ.
Really? He really just said that? Okay, boomer.
How drunk are you? Very.
Sounds about right.
All right, the results for the election of Chief Magistrate are in. Giovanni Kablami, 1%. Spaghetti Jeff, 2%. And the bucket, 1 trillion%. Around the year 1050, a
Please tell me they did not actually elect a bucket as a magistrate. Tell me that's just a joke. Please, dear God, tell me that was just a joke. Because I would... Okay, thank God. Because I thought only modern-day America was stupid enough to try and vote animals or inanimate objects into positions of political authority.
A series of reformist popes came along, and they said enough was enough. They wanted to stop the emperor from abusing the church and investing his own church officials. How are you going to stop me so long as I have control over who becomes pope? Remember the circular power division? If you try to stop me, I'll just depose you and pick someone else. Oh no, I've contracted tuberculosis. And
surprise tuberculosis. Oh. The plot disease. I mean, Bobcat, you put it on the ballot. It's an option.
just like that, the emperor was dead. His 6-year-old son, Henry IV, took over. And as we all know, child emperors equal opportunity. The church had an opening to take back control of the papacy. Hey man, I hope you don't mind, but we're changing the rules so that only the church cardinals can elect the pope, and you no longer have any say in the matter. You know, if that's cool with you. I peed my pants. Okay, great talk. Then, with the position of the Pope a little more secure, he held a big meeting where he drew up a big list of all the reforms and new powers he was giving himself.
Crimson, I imagine George R.R. Martin probably took a fair amount of inspiration for his stories from real life history. I have to imagine that that more than a little bit was inspired by the events of actual historical events. I mean, it's when it comes to a writer, they're getting inspiration from something. So, yeah, where the roses, yeah, okay, that makes absolute sense.
And it included some pretty gnarly stuff. Okay, first, I have the power to depose emperors. Everyone cool with that? Yeah? Let's see. Only I can depose or reinstate bishops. Yeah? Alright, no one can judge me. All princes shall only kiss my feet. Only my name shall be spoken in the churches. My name is the only name in the world. Okay.
Yeah, he's going on his villain arc now. We're seeing the beginning of the villain arc.
I think you're done. These were all some pretty radical powers the Pope was giving himself, and with these reforms, the Pope was basically telling the Emperor, you no longer have the right to choose your own bishops and abbots. Only I can do that. When the Emperor, now a full-grown man, heard the news, he was furious. What? This is madness! Who does this guy think he...
No.
This is Sparta!
He is. I'm the Emperor, for goodness sake. He can't tell me what to do. I'll invest my own bishops and abbots if I want to, and this rapscallion can go right to heck! I peed my pants again! The whole conflict escalated when Henry IV went to the Pope and said, hey, guess what, sucker? You're deposed. Oh. Wait a minute. I'm the Pope. You can't depose me. You're deposed. Oh. Wait a minute. I'm the Emperor. You can't depose me. You're deposed. Oh. Wait a minute.
Oh god, how long are we going to do this? This is a rabbit season, duck season joke. Oh crap, I hope this is not going to be going on for too long.
Eventually, the German princes took advantage of the situation, and they all turned against Henry. Henry was forced to apologize to the Pope, and the whole thing ended there. Except it didn't. The whole conflict, known today as the investiture controversy, would continue on for centuries as popes and emperors engaged in a power struggle over the emperor choosing his own church officials. The overall result of this conflict is very intricate and full of complexities, but in general, the Pope was able to increase his authority. Great news, Your Holiness. Your influence is on the rise throughout civilized Europe, except for this one city in northern Italy. Really? What's going on there?
Oh, for God's sake!
As for the emperor, he found his realm thrown into further chaos and civil war, as the local princes continued to increase their own power and independence. This was most notably the case in northern Italy. Separated from the rest of the Holy Roman Empire by the Alps, the emperor's influence and control over Italy had often been questionable. In the current chaos, these Italian city-states began operating almost entirely independently. Their practical independence was further solidified when Emperor Frederick Barbarossa came down in 1176 to try to reassert his control. The cities formed an alliance, and with the Pope's support, they kicked the emperor right back to Germany. "Hooray," said the Italian city-states. "We did it! We're the best of friends." And then they immediately began attacking each other.
Human nature? Yeah, that sounds about right. Peace is temporary at best. There's, it's human nature. You're always going to war with everything. That is just literally just human nature.
Why? Well, this whole Pope versus Emperor thing, in Italy at least, had infiltrated society to its very core. Across Italy, families and cities were torn between two opposing sides. On one side, the Guelphs, who supported the Pope's cause. On the other, the Ghibellines, who supported the Emperor. These two sides struggled for control.
Mimi, a truce only happens when one or both sides have basically suffered enough loss and damage where it no longer becomes a viable option to continue with said war. That's, and again, it's about the money. Kind of like everything in life, you hit them in the wallet, and when someone doesn't have enough money to continue the war, that's when it's like, okay, let's call a truce, shall we? Yeah. Exactly. Or, as the doctor would say, they do what they were always going to do from the beginning, sit down and talk.
As Guelph cities battled against Ghibelline ones. As usual, personal interest played a pretty big role, as pro-Pope Guelph cities tended to be rich mercantile ones who didn't like the emperor's taxes. Emperors supporting Ghibellines, on the other hand, were often agricultural, where the expanding papal states were a larger threat. These cities would sometimes even switch sides depending who is in charge and their ever-changing personal interests. In some cities, brutal fighting broke out in the streets as opposing families fought for control. At times, the conflict became so tribal that the differences between the two sides were just downright silly. "My love, I can't bear it. We must be together." But how can we? My Ghibelline family wears feathers on the left side of their caps, and your Guelph family wears them on the right. My Ghibelline family cuts fruit straight down, and your Guelph family cuts fruit crosswise. These are arbitrary differences. We shouldn't let them tear us apart. We can be together no matter what our families think. Wonderful news! Let's make a toast to our love. I'll drink from my Ghibelline smooth goblet, and I shall drink from my Guelph chaste goblet. Get out of my sight, you dirty Pope-loving wench.
Okay, that is frighteningly close to modern day America. Modern day society at large. How a tiny little thing like that is suddenly like, you are dead to me. Like, again, the more things change, the more they stay the same. There is the expression, people who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it. No, I think even if they do learn history, they're still going to repeat it. Because humanity repeats it. But Crimson, yeah, even those who do learn from history are still going to repeat it because human nature, human emotion overrides human logic and intellect every day of the week. Humanity evolved working off emotions. They did not work off of using logic and intelligence. Starting from ancient times with Cro-Magnon, emotion was a driving factor. Emotion and survival which can be interconnected. That was the driving factor. That is the driving force for humanity. Logic and intelligence came later. Emotion is always going to be first and foremost. So even if we learn history, we are still doomed to repeat it because history is created due to actions stemming from emotion. And emotion is what rules humanity. And yeah, Crimson, I use that quote actually it's the second part, and it's actually the second part is people are a person is smart. Actually, he doesn't say a person observant. He just says a person is smart. People are dumb, stupid, panicky animals, and you know it. And I use that second half all the time. Although usually I leave the panicky part out of it. Yeah, emotions are the driving factor for humanity, and emotions are typically what lead to war. And so even if you learn your history, you are still doomed to repeat it. The only thing you can try and do is be prepared for it when it happens. That's the most you can try and do. It's going to happen over and over and over again. You just have to try and prepare for it. That's all you can do.
City-states in particular that got caught in a long-standing rivalry was the emperor supporting Modena and the pope supporting, bucket-loving, Bologna. These two cities had bad blood between them, as they had already fought against each other on a number of occasions. In 1249, the two sides took part in the Battle of Fasolta, after which the victorious Bolognese launched a live donkey into Modena to humiliate them. For decades after that, the two sides would occasionally take little day trips into each other's territory and mess things about a bit. In the fateful year of 1325, the Bolognese went on one such trip and laid waste to some farmlands. The ruler of Modena, Passerino de Bonacolsi, was having none of it. The Bolognese had two major forts.
Shadow, no, human race will continue to exist because that's one thing the human race evolved into. It evolved into a species that survives. That's how humanity came into existence. And it will continue to. Despite everything, despite any decimations that might occur, despite any, population expansions or reductions, humanity will continue to survive because that is what humanity does. It started off as survival, and it will continue to survive because it's the one thing that is intrinsic within every human on the planet. Is the desire to survive.
Forts protecting their city in the southwest, so Passerino, in retaliation, decided to take an army down and lay siege to one of them. Hey, you dirty Bolognese jerks! You think you can raid our farmlands? Come out here and face me like a man! Hey man, what's up? I've just come out to let you know that there's no need to siege us because— Whoa, hey man, chill out. I'm trying to tell you— Whoa, stop doing that. I'm trying to tell you I'm actually secretly sympathetic to the imperial cause and I want to willingly hand the fort over to you. Oh, cool. Okay. Dude, what was that for?
What the hell?
For betraying your people. And this is for joining mine. Mwah. The Bolognese were pretty unhappy to lose one of their main defensive forts, but to make matters worse, then this happened. Hey, wait a minute. Where's the bucket? Oh no, it's gone. Those Modenese must have taken it. We'll make them pay. This is unacceptable. They may take our lives.
Okay. What kid stole the bucket as a prank and is hiding it under his bed? Why do I have a feeling some kid took the bucket as a prank and is hiding it under his bed, and there's going to be a war resulting from this? If I'm right, I'm going to laugh my ass off.
They may take our fort, but they will never take our bucket. Oh wait, here it is. I found it, guys. It's right here. Phew. Could you imagine if we started a war over that? That would have been really stupid.
Damn it!
And there'd probably be a billion videos about it on YouTube one day. Thank goodness it never actually happened. That's right. The famous story you may know about the War of the Bucket, that the war started because Modena stole Bologna's bucket doesn't actually seem to be quite right. I was surprised to find that the bucket was likely not actually stolen at the start of the war. And at this point, I want to thank and give a big shout out to fellow history YouTuber M. Laser. He's the one guy I found who actually translated a fantastic original Italian source, and then kindly allowed me to use his work in my own research. He does really well researched and in-depth videos, and definitely deserves way more subscribers, so please head on over and check him out. The real reason Bologna seems to have declared war on Modena is simply that they both hated each other, supported opposing factions, the Pope had called on Guelph cities to attack Passerino, and Bologna wanted its fort back. And they were gonna get it back. Bologna had a large force, much larger than what Modena could muster up, so they felt pretty confident. They sent half their force to lay siege and take back the fort, and the other half took defensive positions to prevent the Modenese from crossing the river. The smaller Modenese force were struggling to find a place to cross, so one night they were like, "Hey guys, look out, we're attacking way up here in the north, better move your troops." Oh, would you look at that? That was easy. And just like that, the Modenese were across the river.
How did they accomplish this, though? This has gotta be a situation where the only thing I can think of is that they did something where maybe they paid someone to rush to the army in the north and say, "Hey, the troops are coming, you better get ready." And so then they marshaled their forces that way, when in reality, the Modenese, they were moving to the south. That's the only thing I can think of right now, because I'm tired, that might have worked. Maybe it could have also been a small force sent up north. I don't know, because I'd have a hard time believing that they would move their entire defending force to the north if they see just a small force attacking to the north. They would realize, hey, this isn't the full army. So I don't know. It's tough to say. But obviously something happened here that allowed this trick to work that we didn't, well, maybe. What's true, if they did use guerrilla warfare, that could work.
The Bolognese were probably expecting the Modenese to come and break their siege, but instead, the Modenese went for the second fort at Zappolino. Bologna couldn't afford to lose both of its defensive forts, so the entire Bolognese force moved to take defensive positions at Zappolino. When the Modenese arrived, it was already late in the day, and there were about 2 hours of sunlight left. In most medieval battles, at this point, both sides would set up a camp, rest for the night, and prepare for battle the next day. But the outnumbered Modenese decided the only way to win was to deal a quick, decisive blow while the Bolognese were still unorganized and unprepared. And that's exactly what they did. They charged at the Bolognese line, and the two sides engaged in fierce combat. Then the sneaky Modenese pulled what must be the most predictable, yet somehow consistently surprising move in medieval warfare. They sent the cavalry around the side and hit them from behind. Bing bang bong, the Bolognese went on the run. With casualties in the thousands, Modena had won, and the Modenese cavalry chased the Bolognese cavalry all the way back to the city.
Was their cavalry that sizable? They were able to be that efficient? Granted, the Bolognese were caught unaware, so much of their number could have been taken down during that initial surprise attack, and then the cavalry was able to with their pincer attack, they were able to break the lines and force them to retreat. So, because it did say the Bolognese also had cavalry. It did say that they had it too. I'm guessing because of the surprise attack, that was able to get their numbers down. So their cavalry was able to be effective enough in forcing them back.
After Modena's victory, they went on a tour of the Bolognese countryside, burning some stuff down along the way. When they reached the city itself, instead of laying siege, they set up a camp and basically held a massive party for 3 days. The defeated Bolognese could only sit back and watch. As the Modenese force began packing up and getting ready to leave, they noticed something. Oh my gosh. Hey, check this out. No way! Are you kidding me? They're still using traditional wells! Hey you dumb Bolognese, ever heard of an artesian well? You can't even get water out of the ground without using a stupid bucket. It's not a stupid bucket. It's a wonderful bucket. Yeah, whatever, bucket boy. We're taking this with us. So Modena stole Bologna's bucket and put it up on display in their cathedral, eventually moving it to the city hall, where it remains on display to this day. The two cities came to a peace settlement a few months later. Bologna would have to pay heavy war reparations, and in exchange, Modena would return all conquered territories. Modena kept the bucket. Despite being one of the bloodiest battles in medieval Italian history, it didn't really change anything, except now Modena had Bologna's bucket. As for the larger power struggle between the Pope and the Holy Roman Emperor, that would continue on for some time and played a part in many major events of medieval history, such as the Crusades, the Protestant Reformation, eventually leading to the general separation of—
Wait. The Great Brexit War Oversimplified coming in 2028. The 2019 Area 51 raid Oversimplified coming in 2034. PewDiePie versus T-Series Oversimplified coming in 2087. Oh my god.
such as the Crusades, the Protestant Reformation, eventually leading to the general separation of church and state we see in Europe today. So there you have it. We learnt about the Pope and the Holy Roman Emperor, the investiture controversy, and finally, the War of the Bucket. It's been a long day, and it's time to turn out the lights and go to sleep. Okay, I love you. Okay. Good night.
Say it.
Say it.
That was fun. And good. Funny video and interesting how the famous War of the Bucket didn't really exist. Like, talk about plot twist.